welcome everyone to the Nerdy Feels podcast. Thank God we finally have a title for it. First couple of episodes are just kind of grabbing at straws, but we finally found something that wasn't taken and didn't sound completely dumb. If you think it sounds dumb, you're wrong. It sounds awesome. Because we all know that you get those nerdy feels, right? Like, you just get that feeling when you're watching, like, I don't know, Transformers, Star Wars, Luke Cage. You're watching something that's nerdy, and you get that feeling of, like, yeah, it feels good to be a nerd, right? You get that magical adrenaline rush. You get the magical goosebumps. It's a good feeling. So, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Luke Cage, but before we get into all of that, we want to start by introducing ourselves. We do this every time. So, my name is Josh Hawkins, and I am your host, the guy who does all the research. Yeah, all the research, all three websites.
Just a tad.
But anyway, and I just wanted to give a shout out to all the people who went through Hurricane Matthew this past week. It was really rough. A lot of people lost their lives, specifically in Haiti. Just giving a shout out to all those families and let you know that you're in our thoughts and that we care about you and that we know these times can be tough, but you'll always get through it. You know, everyone gets through their tough times and sees brighter days. And this is...
I'm Kyle, and I guess I'll do something a little bit more lightning after that.
Just, yeah.
I am glad to announce that the Tomb Raider is finally out on PS4.
Yes.
Finally. Yes.
The sequel, right? The new
yeah,
one.
the
Okay.
Tomb Raider.
Rise of the Tomb Raider?
Yeah, that one.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right, and I'm Holly Begley, and I don't really have any exciting news right now, but I'm new, and this is my fiance. So
And she's filling
I'm
in for
here.
Bennett
Yes,
because
I'm
Bennett
filling
couldn't
in.
be here. He's got puppers to take care of,
Yes,
and that's all cute and good, but he couldn't
And
be here. So we
adorable.
decided we would grab someone who's watched all of Luke Cage and has some input on it, and she's hilarious as well. But yeah, she's Kyle's
I'd
fiance.
like to think so.
Yeah.
Is this episode 3?
Is
Obviously.
Okay.
Tech director's voice of God coming out of nowhere. Is this episode 3? I don't know. God help me. Yes, this is episode 3 of our podcast.
Yes.
And you are. Good
I'm Luke, and I'm the editor of the podcast. So there you go.
Yeah,
Very
he
important.
does all the truly hard work. He's also the
Hours.
titular character of this podcast. He's Luke Cage.
I'm Luke Cage. I was thinking about being Luke Cage for Halloween, but I don't know how that would play out.
I'd have to see that. I would definitely have
Also,
to see that.
I want to
Keep the
get
hair.
I want to get a jacket and like shoot holes through it. I think that'd be
Yes.
so
Oh,
cool.
Yes.
oh, that
Keep
would
the hair,
that would work.
but dye it black or like spray paint it black
please
and get the
don't.
power ring, get like the power band on his head,
Yeah.
and get the yellow
Power
shirt and
band on his
everything.
head.
Dude, it would be perfect. It would be
Yep.
pure perfection.
I
I
just
love it.
Man, I don't know. I feel like I would be entering some gray territory.
A great territory.
tad.
You might get,
Just as long
you might
as-
get some
just goes-
tomatoes thrown at you.
Yeah.
That was the. I'm just gonna end that there. Okay.
in that trail of thought there. All right, so we're now going to kind of officially get into what we're going to be talking about today, and that's Luke Cage, just in general. You know, what we thought of the show. Was it good? Was it bad? Pros and cons, things like that. For me, in general, I loved it. I loved the overall feel. Actually, you know what? I would like to just kind of discuss first, before we get into the overall feel, the titular character, the actor who plays him, Mike Coulter. How do you guys feel about his performance? I don't know about you guys, but I haven't really seen him in much like other than this. I think this is his breakout role here. This is his first role as a major character.
Yeah, the first time I saw him was in Jessica Jones. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Same
I mean
here,
obviously,
yeah.
but I mean yeah, it's pretty cool to see somebody who because he's like now at this point he's completely. If I see his face, I'm gonna think Luke Cage, unlike
Right.
I don't know, some other person.
Right.
I would
It-
think, oh wait, that's an actor that
Right.
I know, you know.
Yeah, it's
Like,
a very
yeah.
iconic role.
Yeah.
So as soon as like he was here and he did such a great job at it that it will be what you think of when you see him. So it's
sure.
very iconic.
Yeah, and he looks like the character too.
Oh,
Which is
he
pretty cool.
totally does.
Yeah.
He really works. They
I
did
kinda
very
like
good casting.
I think he also kind of like how he portrayed him was kind of just how I envisioned him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like I mean,
Hammer Tank has a question. Does Luke Cage have a deep story like other Marvel heroes?
He has a relatively deep story.
Right.
It's not quite as deep as maybe someone like Doctor Strange. It doesn't get quite in deep into like mystic stuff, but it's relatively deep. I think he's got,
I mean, with his half brother and everything.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking
Yeah.
when it comes to his
Well-
like backstory, his half brother, and being in prison, and the reason why he gets in prison. I just feel like all that's a pretty deep backstory.
Well, I definitely think that like Netflix kind of has like excelled at seizing the Marvel universe for like themselves, and that like just basically you go and take a look at like the movies and stuff, and yes, there's some depth to them, but there's like you go and watch the Netflix shows, and there's so much more
Yeah.
depth. It just
Yeah.
like you just drives it home. I mean, it takes so much back. They were made. I mean, the way they like portray the backstory is they definitely delve deep without like separating it from what's happening like present.
Yeah, and the villains in all of them are really good.
Yes.
Like they like especially this one because they all have backstories and everything, and like the hero is related to the villain,
Yeah.
which I think is pretty cool.
yeah.
And I think it's also really interesting how the villain, it's really hard to just want to automatically hate them because there's so much backstory, and it just like from how they grew up, and you see how they got to be that way, and it's really hard because you just want to villain, automatically just go and hate them. But in these like Marvel series and stuff, they just develop such a backstory that they almost become a lot more relatable and likable than what like other shows really portray an evil
Yeah.
character to be. you
Definitely
know?
Netflix Marvel's really, which I think makes them shine, is they definitely
Right.
put a lot of depth into their villain, not only their heroes but their villains.
Yes.
I'd say they almost
They're
put more
just
depth
as-
into their villains.
Yeah,
Honestly,
like-
Yeah, I
almost-
agree
even
with that
from the start
completely.
with like Daredevil, you got that Wilson Fisk.
Wilson Fisk.
Oh my God,
They
it's
went
like-
so deep. They did almost an entire episode on him,
Yeah.
and I loved it. And
And
I loved how deep it got and
I
how
think
dark it got.
they went into the villain's backstory before they went into Luke Cage's backstory in
Well,
this,
like-
didn't they? I think they did.
I remember his backstory episode. I think was episode 4. I think that's when they started
Yeah.
talking about his backstory.
Oh, okay.
Well,
When they
yeah,
get more in
kinda-
depth into it and like
They
you
they
understand
definitely
exactly.
started off more with like the backstory of even just like the opening scene for Luke Cage. You're in the I don't think the first scene, isn't it, in the at the Harlem's Paradise?
The very first scene, that's tough
I forget.
I can't remember.
because I mean it was 13 episodes.
I
ago.
know.
I know.
I
That's the
haven't
problem with
rewatched yet.
binge watching. like
Right.
you see them all in a row, and they kind of start
Okay.
to
It
blur
either
together.
started
No,
at
actually,
Pops
no,
or
it
it
was at
started.
Pops.
Yeah, it either started at
The,
Pops.
oh,
or-
Pops, yeah.
Well, like
swear
I
jar.
think
I
like
can
the
see
second.
that.
I think the second
Yeah,
like.
the first scene starts in the barbershop with Pops.
Well,
Right.
like even
Right.
like this, either the second or third scene, they already bring it to like Harlan's Paradise and just
Yeah.
the
When Pop was
villains
younger. Go
to it
and
immediately.
setting the scenes of the villains and like
with the
the
crown,
right.
with the Biggie's crown.
Yeah.
That was
Yes,
awesome.
yes.
Oh my god,
That was like
so good.
that was shot of the series for
Yeah,
me, like
yeah.
just
Right.
the juxtaposition and
Yeah, so
how it
cool.
lines up and everything, and they do
Well-
it later as well with other characters.
Yeah, well, especially like after what I don't, actually
Are we
I
talking
don't
about
know.
spoilers here? Should we say spoilers?
No,
are we covering
I've already.
spoilers?
I think that I think it goes without saying that I know I said for the Twitch crowd that this is spoiler heavy.
Okay.
And this for people watching on YouTube, yes, this is full spoilers. If we've spoiled anything so far, we're sorry. I don't think we have really.
I'll
But
put a
from this
warning
point
at the beginning.
forward, now
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Warning, there you go.
super spoiler heavy. We're basically spoiling the whole show. So if you haven't seen it, stop watching now. And if
go-
you have,
Come
really,
back
you know,
later.
enjoy.
And I was going to
Definitely
say,
come
and go
back
watch
later.
Luke Cage.
Go watch, go watch this
Stop
show.
watching this and go watch Luke Cage.
and then come back later.
Yeah, and then, there we go. And then
But
We'll be here.
okay, so
Yep.
continuing. So after Cottonmouth
Cottonmouth, yeah.
is killed, they switch out that whole painting to a whole separate painting
yes,
with
Like
the same
Cottonmouth.
portrayal, just like a more Picasso feel of
Mm-hmm.
two people with crowns on their heads instead of to kind of match Shades and
Yeah, almost like a partnership.
What's her name?
Yeah.
Ah,
Mariah.
Mariah.
Okay, so I wanted to just say, like, give a shout out to the person who created the show. He only wrote the first 2 episodes, but I feel like that really got it going, and that's Chio Coker. And he also helped write, or he may have written it all himself, but I know he helped write the Notorious film, which was a biopic on the Notorious B.I.G., and he helped write some of Southland. And I know that, like, I feel like that really helped in this. Like, it really helps bring that feeling of, you know, like, hardcore, like, street-heavy dialogue and street-heavy themes and stuff like that. And I think he did a fantastic job of setting it up to be that for everyone who came to write on it afterward, and, you know, everyone who came to direct and things like that. I really got a good feeling of,
Well,
you know.
I mean, I've said this like multiple times to everybody I've talked to about it. Like, when you watch the Luke Cage, it's like a mixture of Marvel and Shaft.
That's a pretty good. That's a
It's
pretty good way of
literally
describing it.
just like the feel of it. It's just
Very
it goes.
gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And it
The-
really grabs you.
Yeah.
That first
Mm-hmm.
episode, you automatically, okay, let's go watch. Like, this is something I'm probably gonna binge watch.
What
So
really hooked me
exactly.
what really hooked me were the colors, the tones, and
Yeah,
the music.
the colors was really good.
The
Yes.
colors and the music, just
Yeah.
the warm colors. It was like there was nothing blue or green or like deep purple. There was nothing cooling.
I
It was all very warm.
But I definitely think Luke Cage took a different step towards like in the way it's shot. It took a drastically different step from like Jessica Jones, Daredevil. Like, don't get me wrong, there was still darkness to it, but not to the extent. I felt like actually,
Like Jessica
in a wa-
Jones is probably the saddest of all.
Jessica Jones is by
Yes.
far
Yeah,
the
but, like-
darkest
Dark,
of
yes.
the three.
I'm just
I
like
agree.
talking about actually like looking at how it's shot,
the actual colors and
yeah, the
everything.
colors and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
I think
Jessica
yeah.
Jones, Daredevil, they were all just really dark and gritty,
Mm-hmm.
like grainy and gritty and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But Luke Cage kind of was a bright light, which was kind of strange, like in
Yeah.
a way.
It was a lot of
he's-
bright and warm colors.
He was very like, you know, I don't know. He seems like a very positive person. You know.
yeah, I
Like-
think there's not as much darkness to him.
Yeah.
as
Despite
those
everything he's been
characters.
through.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's-
I mean, despite everything he's been through, he is still remaining very positive and has a positive outlook. And so, and coming back to pop, and he's fine being a janitor and helping out and having 2 jobs. And
Yeah.
I mean, with all of that going on, and he's still positive, like that's tough. Like I can't even imagine.
He-
but
he-
they really.
He keeps his
They really
hokey.
develop
He has like a
his
hokey
character.
kind of personality. You know. Yeah. with
Great
his-
Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yes.
God,
Yes.
that's my favorite.
Oh,
Christmas.
you just can't help but just laugh.
It's
Yeah.
like, he just refuses to curse. Like that's
Yeah.
his thing. Is like
Yeah.
he tries
Yeah.
to stay so far away from.
He says a couple, but very.
Well, yeah, he does. He does say a
Yeah.
couple,
Right,
but
and
they're very
that's-
like they're very subtle and they aren't. You know, it's not a big thing of his character. I think that they really wanted to make him.
Except when they killed Pops.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
yeah.
your technical directors only watched 2 episodes, and
Yeah.
whenever they killed Pops, I was so pissed.
No, yeah.
I was in the coffee shop watching it, waiting, like having an hour to kill, and like whenever they killed Pops, I was like, "You're fucking kidding me!"
Can these
Like,
people
Wait,
hear you,
yeah.
Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like faintly in the background, but.
Okay, well, I was about
I
to say
think-
it might just sound like we're just being silent while you're speaking.
I
I
think-
know it worked in the last podcast. If you can hear
Okay.
it.
I think that definitely we might have to feed Zach a mic next time.
Yeah.
He'll be the God voice.
He wants to be so vocal about his 2 episodes worth of Luke Cage. But it's understandable though, because in the second episode, that's when I think for me the biggest emotional moment comes.
Oh, yeah.
If not the only emotional moment, because the only other person who really dies is Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
Right.
And as much as I loved Cottonmouth's suave, smug villain,
Yes.
he really wasn't as evil as his cousin. You know what I mean? Like Mariah
Yeah.
Dillard is obviously
Oh.
much more despicable and manipulative and evil than he
Well,
is.
and the fact that he really like embraced the fact that he's evil, like
Right.
he like even from the start with Mariah's like, no, you need to change. He's like, no, I'm a bad person.
where we
Even
are.
though like deep down, he
I feel like
probably
he's
was a
probably
lot.
a good guy.
Yeah,
He's
But-
actually a decent human being. I mean, yeah, he beat a man to
doesn't-
death, but if you look at the scenes where he's playing the piano,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they play those about 5 or 6
Yeah,
times
you're
before
right.
he dies.
It's this human
Yeah.
part of him.
And the reason they do that is, the reason they do that is because they want you to get this sense of he really wishes he wasn't there.
yeah.
Right.
He wants to be wherever he thinks he is when he's playing the piano.
yeah.
And for me, I think that he thinks that he's on a grand stage playing for the opera or something like that. He realizes he could have had that kind of capability, and
Either that, or
And that
I
was
think
his
he's.
dream.
I think
Mhm.
more. He's up on Harlem Paradise's stage.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Just
A more
killing
local,
it. Like,
a more local short
It's
distance.
the music.
Well,
kinda
especially
takes
something
him
like
away and
that's so connected to his family. I think he definitely. That's probably just because that's another thing. It was like that was another tone really set throughout the entire thing.
family.
Is family.
Oh yeah, and
I
you
mean-
didn't do anything for them, and yeah, exactly.
And then
Yeah.
I think definitely like two different tones, like the fact that you have like
And you have
family,
roles.
like blood, and then also family as in the people that become your family. Kind of like
Oh
Pops.
yeah,
Pops.
Pops.
Cage,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
he was such a father figure to not only Luke Cage but the entire town. Like everybody, that was what they called Switzerland, the neutral zone.
neutral
so
zone,
it
yeah,
was pretty much the neutral zone, and where he was the father figure. So I thought it was kind of interesting how they brought that family
Real
aspect
quick
into
shout
it.
out to Hackin' 101. Thank you so much for the follow.
Hey.
Yeah, that's my buddy Tony. He's the
Oh,
guy
really?
who asked about the archive, and he's
Oh.
a genius when it comes to computers, man. He can do amazing things with computers. But
One of the characters that I thought was really cool in it was Misty.
Yes,
She
I
was
wanted
really
to talk about
Yeah.
her
That's
for
bae,
sure. I was
son.
hoping
That's-
for somebody
Yeah.
to.
All of the
God, she's
all,
bae.
Also,
she's
you have
like
a 3.5 minute limit.
okay.
okay.
So all of the different like it's like there was a lot of different angles in this one. Like in the other one, there was like good guy, bad guy in the other series, but in this one there was good guy, bad guy, like second bad guy, and then there was also Misty, who was
Kind of
sort
gray area.
Yeah, yeah.
Anti-hero almost.
Well, yeah.
Especially by
I mean,
the end.
she was trying to go by. She was like justice and the law, and then
Yeah, she-
like Luke Cage was like the vigilante, and
Yes.
but he was just kind of trying. He just
Well,
wanted to live his life. I feel
Yeah,
like.
I
I
think,
know.
like-
He didn't really want to be
But
a
the-
superhero. He was
Yeah.
kind of just like pushed toward it, you know. So,
But I think he
I agree.
definitely was, since he was shoved in that, he was kind of the turning point for her in a lot of ways. Because he
yeah.
didn't, like, the problem is everything was, like, all about all bad guys. And here's Luke Cage, who's trying to be a good guy and not, like, try to, like, be
Yeah.
a hero or, like, anything like that. But he's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or, like, in a way, he's always told to be there, even though a
Right.
lot of times he wasn't.
and it really really upset Misty that she couldn't figure out because I think she really had her moral compass set, and before Luke Cage,
yeah,
and then Luke Cage came in and just shook it all up,
Yeah.
and then she wasn't sure because she knew Luke Cage was meaning to do the right thing, but she followed the system so much that Luke Cage was almost like a bad guy. Like, we don't want vigilantes, but then
very often
Scarf.
she kind of looks at
Right.
him as not
Yes.
really a bad guy, but as an obstacle in the way of justice, and
Yes,
something that
yes.
she's starting to, you know,
Okay.
something
Oh.
that she's starting to feel frustrated with.
Well,
because
But Scarf, I
if
feel
you definitely, well, also as soon as which really she keeps saying throughout the entire series, is as soon as he appears, everything changes.
Yeah.
And
Right.
like, I mean, basically he, in a way, we talked about how it was shot a lot brighter. In the way, he's kind of a light that brings the darkness out
Yeah.
in Harlem.
yeah,
like, yeah.
Because she starts seeing like Scarf ending up being a dirty cop like that. He
Oh,
probably
Right.
would have never been found out if it wasn't for Luke Cage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because everything was shook up
That
for
guy was
her.
pretty cool. I like that guy though. Like, he was
Oh,
like
Scarf?
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
like
as crooked
New
as he
Yorker.
was,
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
mean, he killed well, he wasn't an innocent young man, but he was
Right.
someone who could have turned his life around and
Yeah.
done something
Right.
good, and he killed him, and so he was crooked. But for me, it's like, yeah, the deadpan humor that he brought to the buddy cop thing,
Yes.
was brilliant.
That's
Okay.
true.
Do we
Excellent.
want to stop for a
Yeah,
little bit of
we
Okay.
can go for an intermission,
Intermission?
here.
Intermission.
We'll be right back. People on the Twitch stream, just stick with us. We'll be probably back in around 3 or 4 minutes. Back up.
Might even
So,
Well, I mean,
might talk to the
a
viewers.
minute or two.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
So
Yes, somebody
intermission
is-
time, folks. We'll be right back.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
And welcome back, everyone, from the intermission. Hope the people watching on Twitch enjoyed seeing our behind the scenes stuff. And if you guys want to see some behind the scenes stuff as well, go to our Twitch, the Nerdy Feels. What is it? The Nerdy Feels
The Nerdy
Twitch.tv/the Nerdy Fields.
Yeah.
I'm an old man. I don't know how things work, so forgive me for that. But yeah, Twitch.tv/the Nerdy Fields. If you want to watch some of the behind the scenes stuff during the intermission. But we're back, and we're going to be talking about a really good question that we brought up during the intermission that we want to cover. What would have happened, in the Luke Cage series if the writers had just decided that Pops was not destined to die? What if Pops had never died? Would Luke Cage have finally turned that leaf into vigilante and realized that he needed to do something good?
I don't know, because like the thing is Pops was always kind of the
He
was
Luke
always
Cage,
pushing
yeah.
him to actually do something
To be
about
active in the
Yes.
community.
but like on the other hand, I think in that case Luke Cage would probably have been more of a peacekeeper at the barbershop. He would have
Right.
been like
Yeah.
he would have made sure Switzerland stayed Switzerland.
yeah.
And so like the thing is you wouldn't have seen so much of the story outside of the barbershop. It would have really more revolved around the barbershop and what kind of lost my thought process and somebody
Well,
segue
it's
into
pretty much. I don't know if there was anything else big enough to trigger him to
Yeah.
become a vigilante. He was like, the dad. Pops was the dad of the whole community, and he was like a father figure to Luke. So I don't know if anybody else was really close enough to him to make that significant impact to turn him into vigilante.
Yeah.
I really think he was the only one who could have had that turning point.
Yeah, because if
So-
you look at, Pops was kind of his last bond, because
Right.
his wife's already dead.
was it his wife?
It was either his fiance or his wife. What is her name?
That's a good one.
The
The
doctor.
the prison
Yeah,
the
the
prison
prison
therapist.
doctor.
The one who was who was a
yes.
traitor.
Yeah, they talk about her in
yeah.
Jessica Jones.
But
About how
Oh, they did.
Yeah, you guys should definitely watch that sometime and about what happened to her. But
man,
I mean,
it's been
she
so
was like his last person other than Pops, and I'm sure he was much closer to her than he was to
Right.
Pops. So
Right.
Pops really was the last straw. He didn't really have anyone
Yeah.
else. I mean, Misty Knight was just coffee. It's not really,
That first episode.
she was just coffee. She's
yeah.
not really like an emotional bond at this
Dude,
point.
I thought that was really funny when at the end, like the last episode when it was like Claire and Luke,
Yep.
and then like over here is Misty, and it's like, oh well, it's kind of
He's
awkward.
got
A
both,
little
he's got both
awkward.
brands
Yeah.
of coffee in one place.
Both
This is
brands of
awkward. My Folgers
Yeah.
thinks I'm cheating on it with the Louisiana. Oh boy. Anyway, so yeah, I think Luke, what are your thoughts on the whole Pops thing? Like, do you think he ever could have made that turn?
Yeah, I think he would have just tried to stay away from all that stuff as much as possible. Like, how much stuff did he do before Pops died? Really, like,
Yeah.
was he still working in the?
I think he was always in the center of everything.
Yeah.
And, like I think he
That's the
probably
thing,
would have
yeah.
been pushed into that.
I think it would have turned out
Whether-
differently though. I think
yeah.
he
Right.
it would have
Yes.
taken a longer amount of time. Or
Yeah. I don't think he would have been
Yeah.
nearly as proactive about the Christmas addicts.
I don't know though. I feel like
Yeah.
Pops.
Right.
I don't see a situation where Pops wouldn't have died though.
I know there was gonna be that was gonna happen.
Like,
Like I feel
the-
like it was gonna happen eventually.
He could have been delayed, but I don't think it would have stopped.
It would.
Yeah.
It had to happen this season because it really is that pushing point. It
Right.
pushes the plot forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not only that, but Pops, we find out, is someone who, in terms of karma, he's got stuff to pay for. So like, I don't know.
Right,
That's
when
just
he
kind
was
of
younger,
that's just kind of
yeah.
an underlying tone that he used to be not a great guy. And so this is kind of karma maybe catching up to him, and they use it dual as well as being a
But
turning
like
point
I
for
think
Luke
like
Cage.
because Pop's his big thing was never backwards, always forward.
Yeah.
And kind of his death was the what set the series to continuously move forward.
yeah.
And like kind of like
it would have
what,
been. Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
even so much. It's even like what makes that even much more special. His mantra is that he's saying it as he's dying. Like that's
Yes.
even that is like the passing on of the
Always.
torch in a way to Luke Cage, saying you have to use this to always move forward.
I love
Right,
that
and
you
I
said
think
swear
that-
jar first.
Oh, the
That's
swear jar. Yeah.
Swear jar, man.
Yeah.
That was
And
the
I-
first gimmick
I
that
don't
really
know.
hooked me. I like this, the
The
idea of the
swear
swear jar.
jar.
Do we
Yeah.
need to maybe like find a swear jar because Bennett went on that page last
Yeah,
time?
Bennett would,
we could make some good money and
We
put it
could
towards
actually
the
probably
podcast.
afford a new camera by now. We
Yeah.
could probably start aligning the brands on these cameras with a swear jar for Bennett. But, yeah,
Yeah.
I think all of us can be pretty guilty of that at times.
Except me.
Lucas is such a golden boy, and we love him for it. So let's talk about like the first. I don't know. Let's just talk about the first episode because of how amazing it is. Like, what do you guys think was the biggest thing that really hooked you to start with?
The atmosphere of it.
I think
It's-
kind of like the atmosphere of the barbershop, tell you the truth.
Yeah, the barbershop.
Because that kind of like, in a way, kind of set the scene for the entire show. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
everything about the show was kind of like trying to make a turning point on Harlem. And that's what the barbershop really signified.
The guys
And
playing
seeing-
chess. And,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
signifying like this peaceful place that everybody could go to despite their problems or what issues to be safe and secure.
Right.
And that's kind of what I think really drives
It was-
Luke Cage.
And
Yeah.
I-
It was all
as a
very based on the
series.
community of
Yes.
Harlem,
Yes.
which I thought was really cool because none of the other,
Series,
series have done that,
yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It was like, yeah, Daredevil lives in Hell's Kitchen, but like Luke Cage lives in Harlem,
Yeah.
Like that's like where he,
Well, you
That's
definitely
that's
saw.
where he
Stay.
lives. Like
Yeah.
that's
Right.
it's like,
Well,
he's very
also
much
you
part of the
definitely
community.
saw a where in every other Marvel Netflix show, they're always very solitary. No matter
Yeah.
what,
yeah.
they're always very solitary. But like Luke Cage is the first one you see like this community actually backing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it.
Because
Yes.
yeah,
The
Daredevil has two
protagonist.
friends.
Darede-
Jessica Jones
yeah.
has like one. It's like it's like
Yeah, something else.
That is true.
Forever Alone.
Daredevil is like hiding in the shadows. Nobody really knows who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica Jones, she doesn't really ever get in the limelight, does she?
No.
No,
I haven't
Not
watched that
really.
series in a while, but
Yeah, so, yeah.
yeah, she never really gets in the limelight. But Luke Cage, everybody knows who Luke Cage is.
Yes.
So when they're looking for, he doesn't have an alter ego or anything, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah, that-
Well, Luke Cage is kind of his alter ego. Well, it's not an
yeah,
alter
I
ego,
guess
but it's
so.
just him by another name. It's
Yeah.
it's an
Right.
alias
Yeah.
for Carl Lucas, which we find out in like episode 4 that's his real
Okay,
name.
I was about to say, what do you mean alter ego? But, okay.
People who read the comics, which I haven't ever read any Luke Cage comics, so I'm like very guilty of not knowing much in terms of the backstory, in terms of how Marvel, Stan Lee wanted his story to, unfold and things like that. I don't know much of the history, but I mean, we've watched the television series, and that almost inspires me to go back and read some of the comics if I ever get a chance. I mean, the comics started in. It's started in '72.
The thing
So
about
it's been around
comics,
for like 40 plus
the
years.
thing about comics is that you never know where to start. Like I feel like you
Well,
had to
like,
be there when they were
The
coming
problem
out.
is like you kind of have to start as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry because like otherwise like comics are so expensive.
Not
Yeah.
only
Like,
that,
and
they're
and
to
they're
catch
so
up,
overwhelming.
and
There's
to catch
so
up,
many,
consuming.
right?
Yes, and to
And there's
catch up,
different
it's hard.
versions, and yeah.
But
Yeah, comic books are one of those things that we probably won't talk about much here, just because we are adults. Like we're just a little too late to be getting,
Yeah, like I tried to like read some Deadpool comics before, and I was like he first shows up in this comic, but he's not the main
Right.
character. And
Yeah.
then there's a spin-off comic about him, and there's all these different series from different authors about.
Yeah.
And that's what
people.
I'm saying with all the different versions. It's hard, and I think it's interesting how Marvel chooses like it. I would love to see why
pick
they
and
choose
They
different
always
parts
pick and
of
choose
each.
from their
Right.
like you especially
okay.
see these in the Marvel movies. They pick and choose their plots from
Yeah.
like different comics and like comic series and like series of like the same.
and there are Easter eggs littered.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're literally
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
everywhere.
did you guys see the Stan Lee Easter egg?
Yes.
Did you?
It's just one singular
Yes.
Stan Lee Easter egg. He's a poster on a telephone pole in one of the shots.
Yeah.
No, I
way.
missed it!
I can't believe we missed that. Wow.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's it.
I was like,
and then it was,
nice.
like a 3 or 4 second shot, and then he's gone.
Oh, I can't
But
believe
has
that.
Netflix really done a Stan Lee
Yeah.
kind of like?
In Daredevil,
Did
he
they?
was like a cop in the police
Oh,
department. He was a
yeah.
cop in a cop frame. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And
Okay,
Jessica
I didn't
Jones,
realize it
I
went
can't
to the
remember, but I'm
series,
pretty sure
too.
they did. They have to.
Dude, they
They
saw-
I'm
subtracted
sure.
this.
They're so
Only
much more
once in
subtle
season.
with them.
Dude,
It was-
they
Yeah.
have to be because I don't think Stanley wants to be associated with this kind of violence and like sexuality. It's a much more
Yeah.
mature show, and I don't think
It is.
and
Mhm.
Stanley
It's not toward
approves
kids.
of that kind of stuff because
Right.
that's the thing. I say that, but it kind of contradicts itself because he was willing to show up live in Daredevil, and I mean Deadpool. And Deadpool is by
But
far one of the most
he also-
lewd, violent shows.
but he also
you know,
said that
pieces
was-
of media.
Sorry to interrupt, but he also said that was actually one of the most awkward cameos that he's ever
That's
done.
true. Yeah, he was the DJ in the strip club. So
That's
it's
Oh,
like,
that's
yeah, I remember
right.
that.
it's
yeah.
like
Forgot that.
he doesn't shy
Yeah.
away from it, but I think that maybe he just didn't have the time or something like that. It's obviously a good reason behind it. They would have loved to have
Maybe
had him
for
if they
more
could.
satisfaction for the people who spotted out or something.
That's true.
Right.
It's a less obvious cameo.
Yes.
But so for the first episode, what really grabbed me was just the music. It was just jazz and hip hop tones everywhere, and that's all it is.
Oh, throughout the
And
whole
thing. And I've
yeah,
always
throughout the
been
whole
more attuned to that kind of music than like country or rock or I mean I like some soft rock, but that's only because it takes a lot of its elements from jazz. You know, it got a lot of the elements from jazz and so when they started playing, you know, just soft tones of saxophone and like jazz piano and stuff, I was just in love immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I definitely think you see that blending of like new and old, like
Mhm.
throughout the entire series. Like every act, like on
The
in a
Harlem's
Harlem's
Paradise
Paradise. We keep
stage.
coming back to Harlem's Paradise.
Exactly. And
Is
it was
kind of like a mixture of like
Yeah.
you do have like the like hardcore rap, and then on the other hand you have this kind of going back to the 70s and the 80s
70s, I
and
know.
the,
Yep.
yeah, man, the
And I
Delphonics.
loved it. Oh,
Yeah, it was
uh,
cool.
Yes.
All the different singers and everything.
yeah,
They're
that was
all awesome.
really neat
Yeah.
to be able
they
to
were
see them all.
They were all great
and-
performances.
Oh,
you know?
I know,
wonder-
even if
wonder
you
they
gotta see
performed that
snippets.
live.
I'm
What if
sure.
they performed that live for the cameras and it was like
It
all
might have
live
been.
sound and everything?
They could have. I mean,
I mean,
That's
Yeah,
something to
yeah.
look into because
Yeah.
that would be really
It
interesting
wouldn't
to
surprise
see.
me. I mean,
Yeah.
those were good. Those were good artists. I looked at some of
Yes.
them, and you know, the Delphonics and Raphael Sadiq. Some of them have been around for just forever.
Oh yeah.
But
they were well-known people.
oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
I don't know.
Faith Evans, I think Faith Evans was the woman singer in the second episode, and she killed it. She did an absolutely amazing job.
Oh,
I think that was her name, Faith Evans, something like that. Either way,
yeah, we know who
amazing,
you're talking about.
so good. But that's what really sold me. You know, I mean, I will say that the very first thing that sold me, it just a little bit, was how passive Luke was about everything, how relaxed he was. That's how I knew I was in store for like a crazy ride of like this is gonna escalate because of how low it was. You know.
Well,
yeah,
even
it was so
just, like-
surprising to see. Here's this. I mean, I didn't know anything about Luke Cage, and seeing him as like a janitor and like you see Iron Man and all these, and they're so powerful
Yeah.
and they've got all this money, and to see this, like, it was almost more realistic. I could believe it more than just like the regular typical like
Right.
big
It was
you
a
know
very good change of
superheroes.
pace.
It was, and I was surprised. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it at first. I heard really good reviews, but then really watching it, I was super impressed.
Absolutely. And I mean, every single one of these Marvel Netflix shows has been a hit. And each one of them, no matter how similar they are in terms of their amount of success, they're all very unique and in a beautiful way. I mean, Daredevil was the first one, so it knew it had to be really gritty and dark, and they also stressed cinematography a lot in Daredevil. I mean, they did those one-shots in both seasons. They both had a one-shot that
Oh
went
my
on for
gosh.
like 5 minutes.
Y'all have 5 minutes. Speaking of 5 minutes.
Okay,
Okay.
speaking of 5 minutes, we have 5 minutes.
Okay.
But anyway,
so-
let's just wrap it up. First off, saying if you haven't seen Daredevil and Jessica Jones, go watch those first before you watch Luke
Oh
Cage.
yeah, I really
Oh,
liked.
yes.
Oh, I really liked the like, and towards the last episode when Claire was like, "I know a lawyer," you know.
I know a
thought that was so good.
I know a lawyer. It's
I was
just-
like,
So, yeah.
I was
that's
like,
all it
I
has
really
to be
wa-
is that big.
I was really
If
hoping
that's,
for a
you know-
cameo from one
Oh,
of them. I thought
I
that would
know.
have been so
Well,
cool.
yeah.
Like I thought that would have been awesome if in the last fight scene, Jessica Jones was in the crowd, like watching the fight
That would have
between
been
him
really
and Diamondback.
Especially because this takes place after Jessica
No, she's
Jones.
not the lawyer.
I thought that would have been.
So we don't have a whole lot of time to talk about much else. And
Let's
and
talk about like
the
the
thing
going
is, like,
forward.
there's so much to talk
Right.
about, but I really do want to hit the big points,
Yeah, okay.
which is, for me, we talked about the pivotal moment for when he decides to turn over the leaf to, you know, Vigilante. We've talked about his performance just in general. We've talked about the tone of the show. Let's talk about the villains a little bit.
Oh yes.
Let's talk about how amazing the villains are.
Oh,
And I mean, in these Marvel Netflix shows, the villains are always amazing. Specifically, in my opinion, David Tennant playing Kilgrave.
Oh yeah.
A mind-blowingly scary and awesome, psychologically thrilling villain. And have you seen?
Well, yeah, I definitely. I actually love Jessica Jones, and as much as I like Luke Cage, it's still Jessica Jones is still my
Still
favorite.
your favorite? Yeah.
But like, I think that definitely what these villains did like so well was kind of like why they were so evil, is how they turned they really moved to turn things against the hero, not as in violent way, especially Mariah, right?
Mariah,
Dillard.
right.
Especially Mariah. She didn't
hated
look
woman
to
on
fight
earth.
him like with violence. She worked to turn the entire community against him. And
Right.
and I definitely think that like in a way has what I noticed about like Luke Cage definitely was this kind of underlying dialogue about social justice.
Yeah.
Right.
That was
And
a really
the-
cool- yeah.
And just like kind of this mirroring of what's happening in the world today, and they kind of like mirrored it in the TV show in
Yeah.
ways that kind of made you think.
Yeah, I
And
thought
also, the real shame of it is
yeah.
that she was taking advantage of that for her own.
yeah,
Oh.
That's
she
what
was.
made
her
That's
the-
right.
That's
That's
the
what
that's
made-
the
Yeah.
they're like every single other word out of her mouth is Harlem, right?
Yeah.
And strength and
Uh-huh.
unity and keep Harlem black. And I'm like, man, this woman is really hard charging to keep herself in money and in power.
Yeah.
And she's so manipulative, and she only thinks of herself, and she thinks of just so selfish, and being able to manipulate not only the people around her but the whole community. That's the one character that you just want to hate. Like you just like all the other villains, you can see that they had
Specifically Shades.
some. Yeah, Shades
Yeah.
is so
Shades is
cool.
my
I love
You
Shades.
just like you can't hate him.
It's so
Like I don't
cool.
know what it
Awesome.
is.
He's too smooth to hate.
He is smooth. He is smooth. But her, you can just like you just get that feeling and just
She-
want to hate her. But the other ones, you almost get a backstory to where you can see where they're coming from.
I
and
like
you can
Cottonmouth
see
for that very reason.
Exactly. So it's not like he's really evil. He just has different rights and wrongs than
I didn't
everybody
have very
else,
much sympathy
or than
for-
other people.
Yeah, I didn't have very much sympathy for Diamondback.
Well, for me, Diamondback is more.
No,
For
I
me,
feel
he
like
was.
he's
It was a
gonna
sad
grow.
story, but he was also very much indulgent in how violent and hateful he was,
Yeah.
and he
Right.
didn't show any remorse. So it's a lot harder to love someone who doesn't have any moments like Cottonmouth does with playing the piano as being a moment of light for him.
Right.
Of a he wishes
And I'm
for a
hoping
different
that
time.
they develop his character a little bit more in the next season too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to come about, and then maybe we'll start having different feelings toward him. But right now, I don't think they've developed it enough to where we can almost like we're on the fence of whether we like him or not. So
Yeah.
Can we? Okay, so it's okay if one of the cameras goes out. But can we talk about going forward, like what's going to happen in the
in the
upcoming
next season,
Because
yeah.
the
Just
trailer
re-roll
for
mine if it comes to
yeah,
it.
if in the next the trailer for Iron Fist just came out. Iron
Yes.
Fist.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, and after that, I think it's Defenders, right? Like,
yes,
Yeah.
from what I saw.
and it's gonna
Supposed
be
to
cool.
be,
What do you think we're gonna come out of? I think it's gonna start. The Defenders, at least, is gonna start with Luke Cage getting out of jail because you
He
know,
found the ledger.
yes, he found the stuff. So I think he's gonna get out of jail
Right.
and he's gonna know
That's right.
Daredevil
Bobby
already.
Fish. Bobby
Yeah.
Fish
Fish.
picked up the ledger from
Yes.
beneath the table.
That was
That's
one of
right.
the last scenes.
Yeah.
Bobby Fish, man, I love that guy.
Dude, that
Yes,
guy's so cool.
He's so chill.
He's
I
just
love-
so like.
I know. It
so
just
relaxed.
goes with the flow.
Like I just fixed this place up, you know. Like
It reminds me of how
like that.
reminds
That's
me of
his
how
one
shady
biggest
Turk
thing.
is. The guy he's always playing chess with, who's actually a bad guy. Such
yeah.
a shady dude,
Well,
man.
like, the weird
Like,
thing is like Turk has been like one of those reoccurring characters throughout the entire Netflix series. But he was sitting there playing chess, and I did not realize it till he walked out that door and was doing back to his old.
yeah,
yeah.
such a
Didn't add to the
turncoat,
Chris
man.
jar.
But I think that
Oh, I see it now. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
our tech director had a revelation.
Okay, yeah, you said walk out the door. I was like, oh my goodness, he actually did walk out the door and like he snitched on Chico. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
that's that
Chico.
episode.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, and he got. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That was a really funny moment.
Epiphany
Also,
rush.
that really hooked me. The very first episode is when the I can't remember his name, but the young man who's getting his hair cut and he's a ball player,
Yeah.
he like gets up and confronts Luke Cage, and I'm like, yes, please, just let
just
this
wanna
young man
see.
know. Just
Yes.
let this young man know
Yes.
that that's not the fight he wants to pick specifically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that was a really cool moment, and that really diffused very quickly because it is Switzerland. Just like
Yeah.
reiterating again that that's a really cool concept. That
Which was kind of ironic because like half the fighting happened there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
well, all the pivotal moments. In the,
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
pivotal
The
moments.
place gets torn to hell like 3 times. Or
I
two
want
or
to
Yeah.
three
see,
times.
I want to see what
It's
happens
crazy.
to that place in the future.
Yeah, I definitely want to see what it becomes because I don't think it's going to become a bar or stay at a barber shop.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they kind
that will
of
be
quit
interesting.
that.
Yeah.
I just loved how the whole community agreed that that was Switzerland. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was, I mean, not just like a couple of people. Like the whole community knew it, and that's what they grew up knowing. And so I thought that was really interesting.
That was another thing that let me know that Mariah Dillard is truly despicable. Was because if you look at Cottonmouth, he was truly regretful that Pops was dead. He was so
not
upset.
happy. Yeah.
Yeah,
He was so upset.
There was that one shot, like it was like a 15-second shot in the second episode where he was just sitting there in tears.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so he was really pissed off.
He was
There's-
absolutely broken up. That's
You
why
can
he
actually
threw Homeboy
see
off
him
the roof.
feeling
Yeah.
something.
That's why-
Yeah.
whoop, there he goes.
So he is
I don't-
human, not just some
Yeah.
villain. He is
Yeah.
human, and he really like
added that-
cared for him and
Added that depth. That
exactly
Luke
that
Cage
depth,
didn't
that
believe it.
But
background.
for her,
Exactly.
not a single tear. Like she's just like
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But she turns it just like she does everything else to further her political
And
gains.
that just proves
stuff.
she doesn't actually care about the community.
No, yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
She
yeah,
doesn't
by
actually.
far.
Yeah,
She just
no
wants
way.
money and her power, and that's
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's so weird because that's such an empty gain, money and power. It's like,
You have a minute now.
how do you ever actually gain any depth in your life from just money and power? I mean, yeah, those are nice pluses to have, but without family and without love and without trust and without community
Friends and loyalty.
all these things, like how do you really ever have an enjoyable life with just money and power? Because at the end of the day, you're going to be
lonely.
killing
so
your cousins.
lonely. I think the
And
closest
killing your
person,
cuz,
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
exactly.
I think the closest person to her, the only person she really cares about, even maybe a little bit, is her assistant. The guy who's always
Oh.
like,
Cleaning up
the
her
guy's always
messes.
pep talking her. Like he's always telling her she's so
Oh,
great.
yeah,
Shades.
she did seem that. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
She did.
She
seem
seems like he's the only person who she might have a shred of love for.
Yeah.
Right.
And now her and Shades are.
And now her,
Yeah,
yeah,
her
I
and
think
Shades,
Shades
yeah.
is starting to enter her
That's what I was-
relationship.
How
Yeah.
can anybody like? I would like if I was a bad guy.
Yeah.
I would be like, I do not want to associate with her at all because I feel like it's just
Yeah.
like a time bomb, you
Well-
know? Like,
But Shades is
it's
also
just
a little manipulative too.
Yeah.
Well, Shades is hyper
So-
manipulative.
Yeah.
Like, he is just,
Yeah,
he's
so
got silver
they
tongue,
really
man.
kind of they're both very manipulative, so they kind of
They work together.
Yes, they work together.
And we were talking about this earlier. That's the best analogy I've heard so far. Is that he's the Littlefinger of the
Yes,
Luke Cage
he's
world.
the one that
So
is
manipulative.
playing
I think
all
it's
the
amazing that
cards
he
and
makes
all
it out
the
alive.
pieces.
Yeah.
Out of all the people that die.
My camera's run out of card.
Yeah.
1 minute.
Okay.
1
Yeah,
minute. So we
so-
can take another intermission, change the cards, and keep going, or we can just wrap it up now.
Well, do you guys want to take another intermission?
Um,
I don't know.
maybe, I was-
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to keep going, so let's take another intermission.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take
Okay.
another intermission, a short intermission, and then we'll go for a little bit after that, but not too much longer. I don't
Right.
want this to be too long. All right, so we'll go ahead and take our intermission now. This is intermission 2. Go grab some popcorn. Go, pause
Bathroom.
pause the video and go to the bathroom because
Watch
we've
the
got
opening
these
scene of
cameras
Luke
that don't
Cage.
like to behave.
Yeah.
But we'll see you guys back here in a minute.
Get up and stretch.
Thank you.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid.
Welcome back, everyone, from the intermission that we had there. Like we said, sorry about that, but we have technical issues with these cameras. They don't behave very well. But we're going to kind of wrap things up here a little bit. We're running out of time. So one thing I want to talk about is just how lethal Diamondback is. I don't know if you guys remember,
Yeah.
but that scene where he went in and killed like 5 people sitting at a table in 2 seconds. I was like, okay, that's wow.
Yeah.
I want to see more of that, to be quite honest. He's not a villain that I love or care for, but the viciousness is it's refreshing.
Like he was the first
Well-
person who hurt Luke Cage, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that as
Yeah.
well.
Like,
Yeah.
When he first rolled up, I was like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah, right? Like he
I
came
thought
out of
he was
nowhere.
just some
It's-
hitman brought in
Yeah.
with the Judas bullets.
Me too.
But he's,
That's exactly what I thought.
well,
Yeah.
it's he comes in freaking quoting Warriors.
Yeah, yeah.
Warrior. Force come out to play.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
What?
Like, this guy's obviously insane.
And he's all dressed up, and you're like, okay, who? Like, what in the world?
Yeah, but he's definitely insane. And I love how insane he is. And the craziest thing about it is that his insanity comes from such a simple source, and that is being outshone by Luke Cage to their father. That's all it takes for him to just hate Luke Cage and go crazy and want to kill people. Like, it's that just I think that's really good writing. You know what I mean? To kind of show the inner workings of the human mind, how such a small thing can
Jealousy.
lead
Yeah.
to such awful things. I think we've kind of covered our villains pretty well. We did a little bit before the intermission. Shades is the man. I hope that if he ever does die, he dies in a really like caliber,
Cool.
like
And
cool way,
smooth,
Yeah.
Yes.
going down
You
guns
can't-
blazing, but still
like,
smooth.
I want to
Smooth.
see.
butter.
I want to see him
Smoothed
like
it,
he's
yes.
like shooting like
no,
this.
let's be honest.
Like,
Mariah's
Yeah,
gonna kill
and
his.
then going Matrix
like-
style.
Mariah probably will kill him.
Mariah will kill his ass.
No,
She killed her
okay.
cousin.
Yeah.
You know.
I want to see him. I want to see
But
him
I
be
feel
shooting
like-
and then get shot and then get blown back and like get blown back to the point where like he sits down in a chair and he like dies like sitting
Yeah,
down.
just- like
Yes,
his shades,
with
like,
his
oh,
shades
shades
on,
fall.
yes.
Like,
shade-
oh
yeah.
man,
Yes,
that'd be so
that
awesome.
would
Just so
be
you can lick him
terrific.
and burn him.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But I don't
dude.
know if I want Mariah to kill him though. I don't feel
I
like
I don't
that's
want her to kill
Totally
very.
him,
gonna
but I
kill
feel
him.
like she will just because of who
Really?
she is.
He seems so smart though. Like he knows how to like talk to her.
That's what
Like-
I'm saying. He knows how to work
But,
the
like, the
si-
problem is
work
she
the
does.
corrupt system.
She's
I don't
slowly-
feel
Yeah.
like. I don't know if he would let that happen. Like,
But he's slowly. The problem is she's slowly just becoming so independent of
very-
him.
It's
Yeah.
true.
She's
Like, I
also
mean-
becoming more and more unhinged.
She's very toxic.
That is.
Yeah.
And I feel like if
Psychologically,
we
she's-
see more of that, then I can see that as a possibility. But for right now, I don't know. I just don't.
I think he
I'm
knows
hoping there's
certain
something
keywords
different.
to avoid. He knows certain keywords to use to motivate
Yes.
her.
And see, that's why I'm wondering if she's gonna
just-
end up really doing
She's just
that
not
because
gonna
he
like
knows how to
control
work
over
her.
I mean, that's kind of why
Yeah.
Cottonmouth became.
Because
kind
he
of
got
bit
really
dust.
comfortable.
True.
He became really
He got-
comfortable with her. Like she's never gonna do
Yeah.
anything to me, you know. And,
Right.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
if
what do
he's
you
like
know?
the little finger, I don't know if he's really necessarily going to become comfortable. You know, like I don't think.
I don't think he's comfortable around anyone. I think that's why he's so manipulative, is because he
Yes.
doesn't trust anyone's motives
Yeah.
And
to
that's
be
what I'm
so
thinking.
similar to his own that he's comfortable.
Yeah.
That's why he's so manipulative, and that's why he's so methodical in how
Like-
he does it.
When did they find out that he knew Luke Cage? Like
That was like
he
it
was
was
kind
when
of
Luke Cage.
secret,
It was
you
when
know?
Luke
yes,
Cage first
he
saw him.
did.
Yeah, but when did
Right.
like
No,
other
Luke
people
Cage
figure
said
that
something
Oh.
to him, and then
out? Well,
he
I mean,
remembered
when
him.
did, like
Yeah, he
Mariah-
did
Because
remember
he
him.
had forgot him. Mm-hmm. He had forgot him, or like
Yeah, I know.
Shades
but,
had forgotten Luke Cage, but Luke Cage didn't forget him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke
Yeah.
Cage remembered that
Well, you also gotta
Hernan
look
Alvarez was someone who had beat the hell out of him in prison.
plus, he had like a huge
Right.
beard and like
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, he
That's-
looked.
yeah,
He
was a
looked
little
a
bit
tad
harder.
different.
He looked a little bit harder to
He literally
identify.
looked like Mr. T.
He did.
God, that's,
Dude, he looks
that's
so much like.
exactly.
Mr.
I kept
T
thinking,
be,
who does he look
from the
like? I don't know
new
why that
A-Team
didn't come to
before,
mind.
like
Yeah.
he shaved into
Yeah.
the.
So it's also a
Yes.
big throwback to the comics, how he looked with
Yeah.
the band and stuff. And
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
That was a big throwback to the comics, and that was
From what
I think
I've
my
seen.
favorite
Mhm.
Easter egg was
When he
just
first came out
so
of the
visual.
thing, he had the
Yeah.
Right.
That was that was one of the best moments as well. When he punches the wall and it's the first thing out of his mouth, "Sweet Christmas."
Christmas.
Man, it's so cool, man. He's so suave.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't have
He
to
is.
curse to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to see Shades. Honestly, I would love to see Shades evolve into a superhuman as well, in some capacity.
like something like what
It would
what
be
Diamondback
cool. I just
did.
don't know if.
See, I think they have that kind of role for Diamondback.
Right.
Because
Well, he's
That's-
more of the brute. I'm talking about something similar to Kilgrave. Something like
yeah.
more manipulative.
But I kind of like the fact that he can hold his own
Right.
without,
Without
without
a power.
superpowers.
Like he's gonna
right.
be like pull. I'm guessing he's probably gonna. I think Mariah's gonna do something, and I think she's gonna end up, getting something happening to her first. I think. I
Yeah.
think he's gonna be pulling the strings from behind the scenes or something like that.
Because he's definitely a string puller. He's a
Yes.
puppeteer for sure.
Right.
But I remember when he first showed up in Cottonmouth's little like suite in his little VIP room. he took off his glasses and he was like, I need to look into your eyes. And I was like, does this guy have powers? Like, it fooled me into thinking, like, maybe there'd be something in his future. Like, maybe that was foreshadowing. Because I thought maybe
I forgot about that
maybe
part.
he wore, maybe he wears the shades. Maybe they're setting that up to be something that
Like
he wears so
the
that
laser eyes.
he
don't
doesn't constantly manipulate everyone.
Like a hypnosis.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
the
something-
Yeah.
the problem
something
is
similar to
they
that.
can't do that. They already did that
Well,
with
no.
Kilgraves.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. But
Right,
I
well,
was
this
just
is
saying,
pure
like,
mind control,
when you
yeah.
were thinking about it, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
Or
it would be
to
really
be
cool,
able
but I
to-
also agree with you guys that I don't think they will do it because they've already kind of explored that with Kilgrave, and they already do
Right.
have someone who is probably going to be superpowered the next time we see him because we see the Doctor go into his hospital room. The Doctor who experimented on Luke Cage. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
Wait,
there
what?
we go.
I remember this. Wait, was that Diamondback who was in there? Or
Diamondback was in the hospital,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
Doctor who had created the experiment to
Yes.
start with.
he's like repair him, but like also give him super. That's pretty crazy. He doesn't seem like a very smart guy, but somehow he gets like all of this, like he like becomes like Iron Man sort of, because he
Yeah.
doesn't have superpowers, but
Well,
he has
he's
the
good.
technology.
Well, he
That's
got
right.
the Justin Hammer like suit. That's
Yeah.
another reference as well. Justin Hammer is
Yeah, I
an
didn't-
Iron Man villain we see in Iron Man 2. He's the one who supplied all of the tech to that Russian guy who becomes Whiplash. It's Justin Hammer technology. Yeah, so that suit
Oh,
that
yeah.
he
Oh, that guy.
suit
Yeah,
that
the guy with
Diamondback-
the Jordan
Sam
things.
Rockwell's character.
Right.
I don't know if you guys know who is it Sam Rockwell? I think it's Sam Rockwell's character. And he's just this like he's always trying to like be better than Tony Stark. One up
Yeah.
Tony Stark and
Right.
it never succeeds. But yeah, it's his technology. And I thought that was such a cool little reference there is when you first open I think it's in the very first scene when Chico and that guy are
guns.
robbing the arms trade. They open and they see Hammer Tech. Or
I love it when
something
they.
like that.
I
And
love it when they do that when they
Yeah,
reference
it's
the
so
movies.
cool.
Like they talk about the
Yeah.
incident. I feel like talking about the incident, would be they would not talk about it so nonchalantly. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
aliens invaded the world.
Well, it also
know?
it also
Well,
happened.
it's also in the past now. I mean,
Yeah,
you
but
gotta
it's
Yeah.
also
think of-
been a
And
little while
that's-
since it happened because this is after Jessica
Yeah,
Jones
I know.
completely.
I know.
So
Yeah, and like what happened?
They've been
in-
kind of learning stuff over time anyway from, like...
Oh wait, when I
other
was thinking
different-
about the incident, I was thinking about the first Avengers movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what it
okay.
was?
Well, the
Okay.
second
Yeah,
one,
now I
the
feel like
second
that
one's
was
also
a
happened.
while.
Is that
ago,
also-
during
too.
this?
I don't
I-
know
before
if
this, I think.
it has or not.
I think
I know
it
in
was.
Agents of Shield it's happened.
Yeah.
By now.
They keep them
but-
so that they release them in order. I know that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
then it had to have... Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully
I
it
think
has
so.
gotten to that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
that's pretty good.
But,
But yeah, I just thought that was a really cool thing, and it could even be a really cool thing to bring Justin Hammer's character, played by Sam Rockwell, I believe, into it to maybe even meddle with things even more. Maybe see like, I saw this video on YouTube of you fighting using my suit. I'm gonna give you the best tech I've got, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he might become some kind of lackey of Justin Hammer's, and then
Yeah.
we might see some stuff happen there.
I want to know how much those bullets cost because they never revealed
Wow.
it.
Yeah.
I was like, they're like
They
cotton
made a
mouth.
They
big,
got
they made a
so
big deal
many
about
of
it being
them.
so freaking expensive on
Yeah.
the little
Yes.
notepad.
Like
on the
Cottonmouth
little-
was
They
like Cottonmouth was like, this is how expensive it is. And
Yeah.
then, like and then
He was like, "Holy
That was-
shit!"
and
Never
then,
showed it.
when they
They
like,
really
yeah.
never did. They
I was
never
like,
revealed that.
come on,
I feel like
guys.
that-
It's got to be over $100,000 a bullet or something like that. Like it's got to be ridiculous.
But
amount.
the police department got a bunch of them.
See, that's
Well,
where
no, they
I'm
were
like...
But that's government funded.
They were
though. Well, that's
knockoffs.
Oh,
like,
they
Oh,
were?
they were
oh, they're
knockoffs.
knockoffs.
Yeah, they're knockoffs.
I thought they were like
Oh,
a
I missed
2.0
that.
version.
Okay.
And that's the thing is they never use them. Like every time they shoot them, they miss.
Well,
which
that's untrustworthy Justin Hammer technology right
Kinda
there. That's Tony
also-
Stark.
or they let him go. Ooh, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When that one guy let him go.
That was a really
the
cool
streets are
moment.
looking out
But
for
I
you.
think
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
I think that pretty much wraps up everything we wanted to talk about. We've kind of covered every facet of it, the overall themes, Mike Coulter's performance, which was amazing. We covered Simone Missick, Misty Knight's actress.
Yes.
She played her fantastically well. Also excited to see where that goes because the dress that she was wearing at the very end, that's actually a call to in the comics when she becomes a vigilante.
Oh.
She gets a bionic
did
arm.
not know.
Because they were saying
What?
she gets shot in the arm, right? She gets shot in
Yes,
the arm.
she
and
got
then
shot in the arm.
eventually, they were saying in season 2, it's possible that she'll have such nerve damage that they have to cut it off and give her a bionic arm.
Oh,
I was like, that would be so cool,
That
man.
would be so neat.
And she becomes a
that
vigilante,
would be
much like Luke
awesome.
Cage.
Claire
And
did
so
say
that would
she
just
could
be
lose
her
out.
like inner battles with with the system and
Yeah.
having a vigilante, and then her to become one and completely turn a 180. That would be
Absolutely.
very interesting
That's
to
gonna be
see
so cool.
like how that plays out.
It's going to be so cool. I'm really hoping that they follow that storyline. I'm really hoping that
Ooh,
all
I hope so
pans out.
too. That sounds that
Yeah,
would
that's
definitely
pretty cool.
that would be super cool. I'd love
If
to
they
see
ever
that.
do a season 2 of Luke Cage, which I think they're supposed to have one, but now
I
but
would
I think
hope
it's still in
so.
pre-production.
They are? Well, like, I feel like they're going to get to the Defenders, then it's just going to be the
Well,
Defenders.
I don't know. I think they might.
Well, she might eventually
like,
show up in the Defenders, same as Diamondback.
Yeah, something that I want to know where, like, Jessica Jones and, like, where were these people? You know, like, these are pretty loud, things. I guess
Things
Yeah, I'm
Well,
surprised
I mean,
Jessica
it is.
Jones
Jessica-
hasn't
well-
come
well,
in
Jessica
at
Jones
any
really-
point.
Well, Jessica
kinda-
Jones was similar to, like, she was
Yeah.
always very reluctant to use her powers.
I mean,
That's
but
true.
Daredevil, because he was all about keeping the city in order. Maybe he only cares about Hell's Kitchen, but
And maybe
I don't
they'll
know.
It
bring
could be
that
that he's
all
just
in with
busy,
the Defenders,
yeah.
I'm
You know?
hoping.
He's
Maybe
bu-
they'll
I think
kind of
he's-
talk a little bit about where they've been,
maybe
what
they
they've been doing, and kind
downplayed
of
it
catch
because
him
they're in
up.
I think he's
Hollywood or
busy
something
with
like
Hell's Kitchen. I think.
I'm sure
Yeah.
there's an explanation for it because I think they're going to explain Luke Cage being in prison during Iron Fist.
Yeah.
And why? Because
True.
Luke Cage and Iron Fist are actually very close partners in the comics, like and in cartoons that I've seen and stuff like that. They always have this excellent comedic chemistry. They're a really good duo in terms of comedy and action and just
Gotcha.
charisma. So it'd be really interesting to see them in the Defenders. I think that they're going to be the
Yeah, I'm
standouts in
I'm
terms
excited for sure to see
Yeah.
them all come together.
Absolutely.
That'll be interesting for sure.
And to see who their villain is going to be. Somebody had said that it might be Sigourney Weaver because she's slated to,
Oh yeah,
Be
no,
in the
I saw.
cast.
I'm pretty. That's probably her.
which would be amazing
Yeah.
because Sigourney Weaver,
That's gonna be cool.
I'm trying to remember. I know I've seen her in a role where she was a villain. I know. Okay, so
She's-
I don't know if
she's
you guys
been in-
remember the movie Holes, the like Disney movie Holes.
Yeah.
Oh god,
She was a
yeah.
villain there, and she was a pretty nasty woman.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And
Wow,
she was
it was
also
a long
pretty
time
creepy
ago,
in
but
Ghostbusters.
from what I remember.
So like, I think that she has the ability to pull off a really nasty villain.
Yeah.
Maybe even nastier than Mariah Dillard. I don't know. We'll see.
Ooh, that
hard to
would be-
imagine.
Remember-
I
someone
know
so-
it is.
Yeah, she was more
Someone so
cool and
awful.
collected, but
Yeah.
this, I feel like, whatever. Yeah, she could be more like
But I think
chaotic,
she's
sort of.
slowly losing control.
Yeah.
But
I think
Okay.
she will.
yeah, well, I mean, 'cause we're really bad at wrapping this.
That's
stuff
fine.
up.
There's so much to talk about.
There's so much
yeah.
to talk about. It's
I
such
mean,
it's such a great show, and it's
The
so
13
exciting.
episode series here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're
Come on,
allowed.
guys.
Yeah, we'll,
Give
we'll
us a
start
break.
wrapping up here. First things first, go watch Luke Cage if you haven't. And if you haven't seen Daredevil and Jessica Jones, go watch those first. Because
Right.
there's a lot of stuff referenced in Luke Cage and stuff that you'll be able to appreciate more if you've seen those first. And they're really good shows. Secondly, if you like this video, be sure to give it a like on, I'm not sure how Twitch works exactly, because like I said, I'm an old man. Give it a
Follow.
follow. Give it a
Follow.
follow, and then on YouTube, give it a like and comment, and comment in the comment section if you want us to talk about anything in particular, certain topics that you'd like.
Or
Just
if you
discuss.
really like us, subscribe.
subscribe. That's the biggest one. Is that if you want to see more of our content, then subscribe because we'll eventually be moving on to bigger and better things. We'll always have the podcast, but
I wanted to add that to the Twitch people.
yeah,
I apologize for the one camera angle.
okay.
We don't have the equipment.
Oh yeah, it's just one webcam.
Right. As
Yeah.
for right now, it's just
I know,
one
you
little
can barely
webcam
see
we've got
me.
for the Twitch stream, but that will be improved later.
It's okay. I'll be
We're
here.
just starting out
Yeah,
here,
hi,
so
Mom.
everything is kind of progressive.
can't
We're
see me,
evolving
but you
in how
can
we do
hear me.
things. And eventually we'll hopefully move up to like gameplay videos and maybe even skits, musical parodies. It just depends on where we feel like we want to go with this channel.
Do we, I mean, we have kind of sort of future plans. We have like a minute. Do you want to talk about it really quick?
Well, I
I
think
think-
I've covered, just the general idea of what we might get into. I don't want to promise
Well,
anything to start
think-
with.
I think it'd be a little nice for it to be a little surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just know that we have stuff in store,
We have a lot of stuff in store.
Absolutely. And the podcasts will be every week. They'll drop every week, probably around Sunday or Monday, and we film these usually on Friday.
We might have
so
to go on break for like Christmas.
Okay,
Unless we can
yeah.
find a way to like.
we may occasionally go
maybe
on
we
break
can do
'cause we're all
two
busy
or something
people.
before then.
Yeah, maybe we can-
Maybe do a couple.
Dude,
like
we could totally do a
extra.
couple at a time. I feel
Yeah.
like we're
Yeah.
talking to
Okay.
people.
We are talking to people.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to kind of wrap us up here. Just reiterating, if you really like it, subscribe and you'll see more stuff. But this has been the Nerdy Feels podcast, and we are an entertainment media podcast. So we're gonna drop the EMP right now. Yeah, I know it's cheesy, right?
And
Drop the mic.
Drop the mic, drop the EMP,
But
boom.
I don't want to drop it and make
That's
it.
no,
and
yeah, it's
break
expensive
it.
mics.
Break it.
But we hope you guys have enjoyed. We've been so glad that you were able to join us. Everybody is welcome, no matter how many, no matter how big or small. So we'll be seeing you guys later. Bye bye.
And all that glitters is gold. Only